Good day to each and every one of us, especially to Mr. Askin. So here we're going to tackle about another Philippine language and education policy, which is the DCS Memorandum number 144, or also called as the 1999 Lengua Franca Education Project. This was issued in March 31, 1999. So first of this provision is it is a pilot study conducted by the Department of Education, Culture and Sports, which aims to implement a national bridging program from vernacular, which can be Cebuano, Ilocano, Tagalog, to Filipino, which is Tagalog centric, and later English. Its purpose is to develop initial literacy of the students. And through this bridging program, alternative curriculum will be used in acquiring basic literacy and numeracy skills. So, second provision is that the pilot study should be involved with grade 1 classes from different 16 regions, which one will be um, experimental, while the other one is controlled class. So third is that each region will select two schools to participate in this study, and there are criteria enable for the school to participate. So first, school should be located in the fifth or sixth municipality. Second, the lengua franca spoken should be Ilocano, Tagalog, or Cebuano. Then third, enrollment of all in grades is at least 40. So there should be 40 students in one grade for each class. Then the other is peace and order. Conditions should be relatively stable and no disruption of classes in imminent due to heavy flooding. Since this is a pilot study, so there needs to be stability and there should be no interruption. Then next, school should be accessible for monitoring. Of course, since this is a study, monitoring is very important. So next, principal is progressive and dynamic. Of course, there should be dynamic and progress in the schools that they're going to conduct the study. Then next, both experimental and control schools should have relatively similar conditions, including capability teachers. Of course, for the study to work, the controlled and experimental class should have the same qualities of learning and teachers so that the study could be, accurate. Then, so the fourth provision for this policy is that two grade 1 teachers from experimental classes and principal will undergo training before the study. One teacher will handle the grade 1 experimental class while the other will be the alternate. But if there's only one grade 1 teacher, then the grade 2 teacher can take over and become the alternate. So all concerned will be requested for the study. They are requested to submit names of teachers who undergo the training, names of experimental and control schools, and lingua franca spoken in the area. So to tackle more about this policy, we're going to move on and discuss more about it.
In 1999, Department of Education Secretary Andrew Gonzalez, FSC, started the Lingua Franca Education Project, or LFEP, which mandated the use of Cebuano, Ilocano, and the Tagalog as the sole language of instruction for the first three grades in pilot schools. These languages were chosen because they were and are the most spoken language, the three lingua francas. In 2000, the Presidential Commission on Educational Reforms, or PCER, recommended the use of the lingua francas on the mother tongue as the sole medium of instruction for the first grade in all schools. In 2001, as DepEd Senior Undersecretary of Programs and Projects, it increased the number of mother tongues to be used in the first three grades of the LAP. It added Bicolano, Hiligaynon or Ilonggo, Samanliti or Waray, Kapampangan, Pangasinan, Maranao, Maguindanao, and Tausug. It also increased the number of pilot schools. The Constitution only gives regional languages the status of auxiliary languages in their respective areas. They can also be used in education to facilitate understanding of the curricula in the official languages of education. However, majority of Filipino do not speak either of the English or Filipino, the official language of the nation, as their mother tongue. In 1999, the Department of Education's Bureau of Elementary Education conducted a study. Lingua francas have developed around the world throughout human history, sometimes for commercial reason. So-called trade languages facilitate trade, but also for cultural, religious, diplomatic, and administrative convenience, and as a means of exchanging information between scientists and other scholars of different nationalities. Since language spoken at home helps improve the child's language and strengthen social cultural awareness, teaching materials and assessment shall be in regional or native languages of the bilingual learners. This was to make children functionally literate in their local language by using it as the medium of instruction. It showed that children who learned in the first language before learning a second language were successful second language learners and excellent more their peers who were not taught in their first language. Reading in the first language developed self-confidence, and there was a smooth transfer of learning ability from the first language to the second language. The Philippines is a multilingual nation, and children have different mother languages across the country.
Hello, good morning. Today I am discussing ideological and implementation issues associated with the policy. Implementation is the process of turning policy into practice. However, it is common to observe a gap between what was planned and what actually occurs as a result of a policy implementation. There are three major ideological models of policy implementation. The first one is a top-down approach. This approach sees policies, information, and policy execution as distinct activities. Like, for example, an implementation process designed to enhance compliance by implementers. The second is the bottom-up approach. This approach recognizes that individuals and subordinate levels are likely to play an active part in implementation and some discretion to reshape objective of the policy and change the way it is implemented. Like, for example, as evaluating the effects of a policy become difficult. And the third one is the principal theory. In each situation, there will be a relationship between principals and agents, which may include contacts and agreements that are enable the principal to specify what are provided and check that this has been accomplished. Like, for example, the context or circumstances surrounding the problem, political and economic climate, and technological change. That's all.
Okay.
Good day, everyone. I am Anime R. Ibanez from BSED English Tours and Tourism. So, ideological and implementation issues associated with the policy is agreeable because it benefits the people in different regions who speak, especially those who speak different languages, which keeps them alive. They can emphasize their existence because they can communicate with different languages.
It was implemented with the issue DCS Memorandum 144 since 1999 Lingua Franca project and continued until 2003. This project aimed and implemented national bridging program to develop initial literacy. Through this program, an alternative curriculum is acquiring basic literacy and numerical skills was implemented. The main goal was to make children functionally literate in their local language by using it as their medium of instruction.
Consensual stance about the assigned policy of DECS Memorandum No. 144, the 99 Lingua Franca Educational Project. DECS Memorandum No. 144, the 99 Lingua Franca Education Project, can improvise the students' intelligence regarding language, especially from public schools. Implementing a national bridging program enhances students' way of communicating people with different nationalities. Learners can also improve their literary works and skills through workshop with the said memorandum. Thank you and God bless.